favorite jackpot game. This is Powerball. Good evening, America. I'm Laura Johnson. Tonight we have another life-changing jackpot for you. It's worth an estimated $20.9 million. To get those tickets out, let's play. That first number up is 63. Followed by the number 37. Tonight we're going to meet Vinny from Pennsylvania, who won $1 million playing Powerball. Congratulations, Vinny. Now for the rest of those numbers, we've got 25, 27, rounding it out with 36. Your Powerball number tonight, good luck everyone, is 7, and your Power Play multiplier is 2. Let's take a look at those numbers one last time. Remember, there are multiple ways to win. We'll see you back here Monday night. Good night, everyone.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12, NBC 26 at 11.
Officials say a toddler's body recovered in the Delaware River may belong to a little girl from the Charleston area. We'll have the latest in just a moment. But first tonight, according to Hartford's 2023 Home Fire Index, Augusta ranks 9th out of 150 cities for the highest risk of home fires. It's a problem trying to be solved by the Augusta Fire Department, but what does fire safety actually look like? Our Sydney Hood is here to explain.
Craig, it actually happens really before a fire starts with education. Just in the last several months, Augusta Fire Department created a new public education specialist position to decrease the number of house fires. The sound often saving lives. But on Crawford Avenue, there's another sound that's heard too often.
There are homes in our community that don't have smoke detectors.
Which is why Augusta firefighters are knocking on doors.
We've realized that we've had an increase of fires in this area, and so we're utilizing that data to really create targeted programs once again for this community.
And it takes a community to lend a helping hand.
A lot of people are looking out for the neighbors, like, hey, I got an elderly neighbor. We're like, yeah, we just visited, we gave them a smoke alarm.
A priceless gift for all.
But if we can help them not have a fire to begin with, that would be a win-win, I think, for everyone.
Because it's all boots on the ground to educate and prevent.
Our efforts now are more focused, they're more targeted, and once again, we're utilizing the data to target areas of greater need.
The fire department is planning on doing these every few months, and the biggest tip from the fire chief is in every room you have a loved one, install a smoke alarm.
Keeping ahead of curve. Thank you for that, Sydney Hood. Now taking y'all over to a live look at I-20 and Riverwatch Parkway. A real nice, clear, and cool-looking night. But I hear it's going to get hotter. We're going to toss things over to the expert, Emily Acton, over in the Weather Center. Emily, any hopes for anything cooler? You know, it just seems like it's getting hot everywhere.
I mean, it is, but Craig, it's July, and we're here in the South, so really can't ask for too much more. But we were actually a little bit colder today, believe it or not. I mean, only by a few degrees, still reached the lower 90s, so most of us definitely didn't feel like it was that much cooler. But now as we head into the overnight hours, temperatures have dropped off into those middle 70s. It's currently 75 in Augusta. Evans, 77. It's 75 in Edgefield, and down in Swainsboro, 79 right now. But conditions are dry and calm. Expecting that to stay true throughout the rest of our overnight. Things are, again, going to stay calm and dry. Could see some cloud covers start to build up and expand across the CSRA, but nonetheless, things are looking good for our Sunday morning. So if you have any early morning plans, things are looking a little bit on the warmer side, but pretty bearable. We'll be in those 70s until around 10 a.m., Craig, and then we'll jump up into those upper 80s and possibly lower 90s tomorrow afternoon.
I'll try and keep that southern heat in check. Thanks, Emily. Well, earlier today, the Aiken County coroner just identified the human remains found in Windsor last week. Officers out in Pennsylvania, similar one on Windy Lane. A North Augusta man is charged in a deadly hit and run just before the weekend. Authorities say they found 50-year-old Angela Blackwell this morning near a Family Dollar on Old Edgefield Road. Through surveillance video, North Augusta officers say she was hit around 8:45 p.m. last night. They say officers found that a similar vehicle parked behind a home also had damage to the front. They say 59-year-old Roger Bradham later confessed to being the owner of that vehicle. He's charged with leaving the scene of an accident that caused a death. Officers out in Pennsylvania strongly believe they found a missing girl from Charleston in the Delaware River. They say a child's body was found yesterday near a water disposal plant, and the description matches 2-year-old Maddie Shields. They believe it's one of the children who went missing after last weekend's deadly flooding. The victim was recovered from the water and pronounced dead at the scene before officials took her to the medical examiner's office.
This has been an extremely intense and emotional time for the family and for our first responders. And for the community, and all our hearts are broken this evening. Although Maddie was found 32 miles away from where she was lost, she has never been closer to all of our hearts as she is now.
Officials say they would autopsy the victim today, but no update yet on those results. They will continue to search for another child believed to be Maddie's brother tomorrow as well. Over to Atlanta, where officers are investigating over 100 cars broken into last night. They responded to several reports this morning at a parking garage in Inman Park. Several people already taped bags to windows, completely smashed through. Officials say one of those cars included a patrol car, and they had 2 guns were stolen as well, but not from their own patrol car. No word yet on how they're looking for any suspects involved. And officers from Maryland are looking into what led up to a man randomly stabbing other people with a butcher knife earlier today. They say there are 4 victims from Montgomery County, which includes 2 women. When officers got there, they say the man confronted one of them, and the officer fired multiple rounds back. Officers then tried to give the suspect first aid, but he died shortly after. During a press conference, officers made it clear their investigation will primarily focus on the officer shooting the suspect. They believe the stabbing was unprovoked as well.
Completely random. We have not found a connection in our interviews with the victims so far. We have not found a connection or recognizing this individual. Again, we're very preliminary right now. That can always change, but that is what we're being told right now.
Police say one woman had life-threatening injuries, but all the victims are expected to be okay. Coming up, a busy weekend at the box office for 2 new movies. We'll see if people still like to go out or if the strikes are playing a factor into low ticket sales. It's opening weekend for 2 highly anticipating movies, Barbie and Oppenheimer. Barbenheimer, for those who are following the trends. CBS's News' Michael George takes us to New York City to see if going to the movie theater is still popular today.
I bought my tickets months ago.
Americans are back at the theaters, many dressed in pink, lining up to see 2 films with no connection.
Hi, Barbie!
Hi, Ken.
The bright pink comedy Barbie.
Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie.
And the dark historical drama Oppenheimer. Moviegoers are leaning into the wildly different tones. Some 200,000 people bought advance tickets to see both movies on the same day, according to the National Association of Theater Owners.
We saw Barbie at 3, and then we're doing Oppenheimer at 6, so it's like a full day thing.
But the industry is in dire straits. Ticket sales haven't fully recovered from the pandemic, down 20% since 2019. And summer sequels like Indiana Jones and Mission Impossible are no longer attracting audiences the way they used to. Both fell short of expectations. And complicating any recovery, Hollywood screenwriters are on strike for a 3rd month, joined on the picket line by the Screen Actors Guild 8 days ago. Tens of thousands are out of work. Production on new films halted.
Movies don't write themselves. You have to have actors in front of the camera. So this is going to be very important that this gets resolved. The sooner, the better.
So while the Barbie and Oppenheimer bump is keeping movie theaters alive, the big question is, what's next? With no big summer blockbusters on the horizon, and actors potentially unable to promote upcoming films if the strike stretches on. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Both films are fantastic. I've seen them myself, and the The SAG-AFTRA strike does not include boycotting these projects, so they're actually encouraging people, not publicly, but to go see these films in theaters. But moving on to some more Hollywood news, to Jamie Foxx, who is now speaking out about what happened to him earlier this year. Foxx's family says he was admitted to the hospital back in April for a medical complication. Since then, Foxx didn't talk about it until he posted a video on Instagram today. He didn't tell his fans specifically what happened, but he knew many people were asking for updates, but says he didn't want people to see him like that.
You know, I want you to see me laughing, having a good time, partying, cracking a joke, doing a movie, television show. I didn't want you to see me with tubes running out of me and trying to figure out if I was gonna make it through.
He says he's grateful for all the support from his family and medical professionals, and that he's clear to go back to work as well. North Carolina fire crews managed to contain a business fire this afternoon. It happened in Chapel Hill around 2:30 p.m. So far, there's no word on any injuries or how the fire started, but fire officials say it took 3 hours to contain from the crane and several hoses along the street. And a volcano continues to spew lava within uninhabited valley in Iceland. Wrdw mountains started erupting last week. A fresh river of magma started coming from the crater today, and as you can see here, it's glowing around the crater where some of the lava is hardening. The mountain is southwest of their capital, so hundreds of people are trying to sit at a safe distance away while also taking a view. I would just get out of there. That just looks scary.
Well, we can expect temperatures to rise over the next several days. We do have one more cooler day in store for us, but I'll have your full 7-day coming up after the break.
You're watching News 12 on your side.
Taking you to a live look of Walton Way. It's looking cool outside right now, but as First Alert meteorologist Emily Acton reminded me, it's summertime in July in the South. Emily, what is it looking like for the rest of our week coming up?
Well, Craig, you're cracking me up saying cool. Yeah, it's still pretty warm out there. I will give you the benefit of the doubt. It is cooler than what we have seen the past couple of days. Today we reached the lower 90s for the highs, and again, we're typically in those middle and possibly even upper 90s for this time of year, and that trend's going to continue for our Sunday. But when we get into our work week, things are warming up a little bit for us. Could see an isolated shower or two throughout our afternoon Sunday, but we're really going to be dry and warm, and really hot, I should say, for the rest of our work week. Now, looking at current conditions, we're dry at the moment. There were plenty, I should say, rainfall down to our south earlier today. States of Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, even southern parts of Georgia saw lots of heavy rainfall. South Carolina saw some scattered showers throughout the afternoon today, but those are starting to dry up and move out. So we are dry right now. A little bit of cloud cover, but overall things are mostly clear right now. We are in those middle 70s as we head into the overnight. It's 75 right now in Augusta. Waynesboro sitting at 78. Gibson 76 at the moment. We're going to continue to slowly cool off overnight tonight. Really not going to cool off much more than what we are currently seeing, but as we start our Sunday, going to be in those middle 70s, and then we'll warm up into those 80s and lower 90s by the noon hour. Some isolated showers or thunderstorms possible, really, for our southern counties. Now, that I'm not saying that that's the only place that's going to see rain, because once we head into the overnight hours, could see some more widespread rainfall. But I think our southern counties are going to have the more rain accumulated over the next 24 hours or so. But as we go into Monday, things are looking a little bit better for us, and we'll start to warm up a little bit. We'll be in those middle 90s, some places lower 90s for our Monday, so not too terribly bad. Now, if we're looking at rain chances, again, tomorrow's going to be our next best chance of rainfall. That's going to be it for at least a couple of days. So definitely need to take advantage of that or not take advantage of that, depending on if you need the rain or not. Now, I want to take a look at our first hurricane of the season. This is Hurricane Dawn. So, again, middle, end of July, and this is our first hurricane. Not unheard of, but Definitely a slower start to our season. We still have ways to go, so not over quite yet, but that's a fisherman storm. Not expected to have any impacts to land. I want to take a look at our 7-day. Not looking too bad. Gonna slowly warm up, Craig. By the end of the week and into next weekend, we'll be in those middle and upper 90s. So we've been spoiled this today, and we're gonna continue to have those cooler temperatures.
Relatively speaking.
Yeah, Sunday and Monday.
All right, thanks, Emily. Well, we know to expect the unexpected when it comes to wedding days. One Georgia couple understands the meaning of that, though, to a different level. Sydney Hood takes us to the largest burn center in the country, the JMS Burn Center at Doctors Hospitals, where a team of nurses made what is already the most special day of a couple's life even more memorable.
We dream about our wedding day.
We're gathered here today in the sight of God.
So I was like, man, she's not going to want to marry. Like, I'm not the same person that asked her to marry me.
But their love now is stronger than ever.
Stronger and better. There's nothing that would stop me from marrying him. Nothing. And so I did. I knew that this day would come. I didn't think it would be like this.
It almost never happened after an accident landed this groom inside the burn center.
I literally watched the skin from my elbow like detach and like literally just go to dust and crumble. I literally felt like that was going to be the end.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health.
Far from the end, and through it all, he has his bride right there next to him.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health.
Even though, you know, my condition, it still didn't stop anything. It didn't stop me from marrying the woman of my dreams.
And it's thanks to the nurses who brought him to the chapel.
I wanted to give him something positive out of all this negative. Preston was adamant that he was not going to change his wedding date.
She was like, I got good news for you. And I was like, what's that? And she was like, you're getting married on the 22nd.
Yes, sir. You may kiss your bride.
And from this day forward, these newlyweds understand what in sickness and in health, for better or for worse, truly means. In Augusta, Sydney Hood, on your side.
The newlyweds, Preston and Tanisha Cobb, celebrated with their closest family and friends thanks to the nurses at the JMS Burn Center at Doctors Hospital. They had food, cake, flowers, and each other. Everything you need for a perfect wedding day. And from News 12, we'd like to say congrats to the Cobb family. As we head into another break, here's a live look at Dallas with your winning lotto numbers.
On air and on your sideline. Sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
Hey, it's summertime. Some college athletes, they stay at school all summer. Some come home, and some, like Derek Canteen, give back. For the past 3 years, the Evans graduate has returned home and spent 8 hours on a Saturday putting on a kids camp, even when he's in one of the biggest changes that's come his way since first going to Georgia Southern.
Go get him. 1.
It's the sound he still takes
2.
directions from.
3. Let's go. Let's go.
Today, he's just the one holding the power. He created this camp 3 years ago to connect with local athletes.
When I was coming up, at a certain point, I didn't think it was possible to play Division I football or in the NFL.
If you play ball, come over here.
This year, they traded in the grass over at Evans High School for ARC's practice field.
I'm from Columbia County, so I built such a strong fan base there. So I wanted to come to Richard County and connect to some of their kids too, while continuing the Columbia County to come over to and just hit different markets. There we go.
It's the first stop of hopefully many.
Each year, I kind of want to keep spreading out, keep going to different places within Augusta or the CSRA to touch different kids. Good. I just want to get everyone involved and just make everyone feel invited and inspired.
One of y'all ready?
It's not the only change the corner has made this offseason. After entering the transfer portal, Canteen will suit up in the maroon and orange of Virginia Tech.
The coaching staff, they took me in. A lot of the coaches have ties they coached, and they've been involved at Georgia Southern.
But no matter which field he steps on or the colors on his jersey, He's living his dream and inspiring the next generation to do the same.
I played in these recreations in these middle schools, high school here. I used to train here at this field. So if I can do it, they can do it.
All right, over on Washington Road earlier this afternoon, each lane at Bolero was filled. It was a sea of green with shirts that read, "It's okay to be different." It's a tournament to support the Exceptional Bowling League, a bowling league for adults with exceptionalities or disabilities. For the past couple of years, parents and families and friends have raised money to support 50% of every bowler's fee, which ends up being about $1,000 a month. It's been hard to keep up, so today was a day to play catch up and then some.
Back in 1960, there was very little that was available for people with disabilities to do in this area. So it was one of the first organizations that allowed people to have somewhere they could come with people like them that were challenged. So it's important to keep that alive.
By hosting tournaments like this, the league hopes that one day they can turn that 50% fee into zero so that no bowler ever has to pay. We will be right back after this.
We're busy.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
When migraines strike.
Yay, technology!
Well, we measured a little over 1/4 of an inch today in Aiken, but Augusta, we came out with 0. We didn't measure any rainfall in the city of Augusta today. Now, tomorrow might be a different story. Isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms, mainly for our southern counties, but we all could have a small chance of rain come for our Sunday, Craig.
Well, thanks for that, Emily, and thank you for joining us here on News 12 at 11. I'm Craig Allison, but if you're waking up early, join us with Ashley Campbell and Chris Still.